Hi guys, we are back with a vlog. Shocker, right? I wanted to do this because I've been streaming and I've been meeting new people and seeing different things here and there. And again, I'm gonna keep just ringing this bell till it officially gets hit someone upside the head and makes them realize. But we're gonna talk again about positivity and about where you should find your happiness, because uh, I'm finding a lot of people, like, since I got on Twitter and I'm making friends, I'm seeing a lot of people are basing their happinesses off communities, and it's a good and bad thing because communities, like especially the one that I'm trying to build, it's supposed to help build people up. But the issue is you have to have that foundation for someone to be able to even remotely try to help. And what I'm noticing with a lot of people is they don't have that. They just assume and or feel like that the streamers or the communities will basically help them build that foundation and make their days brighter, not realizing that it's not the case. People are flawed. People are not going to understand, especially when you're typing messages. You're going to come across wrong. And that's the difference. Is I'm one of those people that whenever I'm talking through a chat or texting, my what I'm trying to get across doesn't come across the way I'm wanting it to, because you cannot read what I'm feeling emotionally correctly through those messages. And that's why it's important to, I wouldn't say air your dirty laundry, but it's okay to tell people what's going on. But when you start trying to get them to be like, hey, pay attention to me, I need help, they're not there for that. They are there to help cheer your day up. If you're having a shit day, they are there to kind of have just a relaxing getaway point in your life. And that's the issue, is you can't have that be the only thing that you're living for. I've even seen this with friends who aren't on these communities, that they literally live off of other people and they hate themselves. And I've been there, and it took a while for me to get back to my good point. But what I try very hard to not be like, oh, hey, I'm a Christian, I'm going to quote the Bible verses to you, and you should be a Christian, and you should be happy. It's not that. I'm happy, and I got through my challenges in my darkest times because of God. And it's something to say. It's a lot different than what people realize. Like, people can fail you. I mean, we're all human. But you have to realize that God won't. God is there. God will always listen. And a lot of people don't realize, like, it's not just people saying it, but when you are, like, one on one with God, you start getting this overwhelming amount of peace. And it's nothing like you've ever experienced. Because, like, you could be having the shittest day in the world, and you decide to I just talk. And I say that's me praying. I just talk and tell God what's going on in my life. And I just say, if there is something that I'm doing, please make it known to me that I am needing to change it. And give me peace about what it is I'm doing in my life. And give me peace about these struggles that I'm having. And 3/4 of the time, I instantly start, like, it's slow. Like, within, like, a couple hours or within a day, like, I start noticing that my heart isn't hurting as much, and it's not stressed out as much, and it's not just this overwhelming, holy crap, I'm alone, what am I going to do? It's, you get wrapped up in his arms, and you just are instantly like, oh my goodness, I'm loved. And I try subtly telling people that, like, you are loved by so many, and people really won't get the extent of what I'm saying, because there is guardian angels surrounding each and every person, whether you're a Christian or not. Whether, if you're not a Christian, it's harder for them to intervene and to kind of give you that peace. But especially if you are, or you haven't, like, denounced that, that's so amazing when you hit that point. Because I grew up with this, like, I never realized it was a card. I thought it was just a picture. But I had this card that my mom had picture framed, and it was of an angel standing over a child's bed with a sword, basically in that protective stance. And I grew up with that, and like I had dreams of things like that where I had an angel by me. And then like through my life, like I've gotten into at least 7 wrecks in my life. Never were my fault, but with some of them, if I had not had something intervene, I could have been dead, badly injured, something. And people don't realize, like, you have an entire army of angels just cheering for you and wanting to love you and be there for you. And all you have to do is just open arms, just say, okay. And people talk about their demons of their past, and I don't think they realize just how true what they say. Like, it's literally demons. Like, your past does not just come and haunt you for no reason. Like, generally, I've noticed my past demons come and haunt me when my life is actually going better and I am on the right track and everything is going smoothly, and then something will happen and it's just like everything just crashes. And I have to realize, no, this is not what's going on in my life. This is just the devil is realizing I am heading in the direction that I should be, and he is trying to derail me. And people don't realize, like, you don't have to be a Christian for, like, if you're not a Christian, the devil's going to attack you. Like, it's just a given because you don't have this like this protective bubble. And note, I am a Christian, but it still happens. But that's why it's great to have God, because you get to be in this bubble where you know deep down, no matter what you're going through, you're on the right path. You feel peace. You are loved, and that helps. And I tell people you're stronger than you think, because so many people don't realize the fact that you're still alive today when you're someone that deals with depression regularly, the fact that you haven't killed yourself, and the fact that you haven't just said, screw it, there's no point, means you are stronger than you realize. It can feel like the world is crashing around you, but if you're still talking to people about what's going on, you're stronger than you realize. Because I know people that didn't talk about what was going on in their head, that literally held all their demons to themselves, didn't say, hey, I need a cheerful night, I need help. And not even in the medical sense of help where you need doctors to help you, just in the, I need a night to just chill. They didn't do that. And it progressively got to the point where they just decided to end it. And I'm not by any means saying that they weren't strong, but you have to realize that if you're still fighting, you get up in the morning and you could be having a hell of a day, but the fact that that night you still go to bed and you're breathing, you fought through that day. So give yourself more credit, because that's one of the things the devil's going to do, is try to attack you and say, yo, you're nothing. You didn't do anything. You're weak. And the issue is you're not. You're so much stronger than you realize, and he doesn't want you to know that. Because the second you realize that, his demons just are nothing. Because you start realizing, hey, I got through this, and I'll get through it again. It sucks, and I'm at this deep point in my darkest level, but you know what? I can do it. And you have to realize that it's all about what you say. Words are power. If you continuously say, my life is terrible, I am not worth anything, I am worthless, I am nothing, all this stuff, that's eventually going to become what everyone else thinks of you, because you're saying it. So why is it not true? So that's why I try very hard whenever I'm having a very hard day to just kind of, I don't really talk to people about it. I just have my bubble and I just sit in it and I just say, no, I am not weak. I'm having a tough day, but I am not a weak person. I am strong. And you move on. And it's just kind of like the other day, I actually, this past weekend, from when I'm recording this, it'll be 2 weekends from when I upload this, but I actually had my aunt and uncle surprise my mother for her 50th birthday and come to town. And I had no idea that they were coming. I had no idea that they would bring the baby. And it was such a wonderful thing getting to see him. But the day after I saw him, I kind of lost it. And I was by no means weak. I was by no means regretting or lost. I hit that point where it was too much. And it's okay to admit it was just too much. But you have to find those ways to realize it's a lot going on right now. And I don't know how I'm going to cope. But by golly, I'm going to be stronger than this. This is not going to be what ends me. And you can, like, each person deals with it differently. Some people cut, some people do different things, but in the end, it's all about how you're trying to get past something. And for me, I had to take a day off completely from recording, streaming, anything really socializing on any kind of network just because I was trying so hard to re-equip my mind with what I needed. That basically, I made this decision. And it is okay that I made this decision. It hurts, and it will be something that I will forever live with that pain. But then I have to remember why I did it. And look on their faces this past weekend. It's priceless. And eventually I will have my own kids and it won't be as big of a deal, but it still will hurt. And you have to realize that, like, each person's thing is different. My mom, when she lost her dad, it was a hard thing. And for a couple years, it was pretty much anytime anyone brought a single thing up about him, she just couldn't quit crying. And I know when I lose my parents, it'll be the same way. And some people are dealing with the fact of losing a parent. And by no means is it an easy thing, but you can get through it. You just have to realize that they're no longer hurting. They're no longer dealing with the strife of the world. They're in a better place. And eventually someday you'll get to it, but they would not want you to end your time on this world soon. They want you to be able to live your life and whatever. And I mean, good Lord, up until like literally this year, I just was like, I was married, I had friends, but it's just, things still felt out of whack. And I mean, it was just like for a good 3 months, the devil was just like going all at it with me. I lost my job, I was losing friendships, I was just all over the board with losing everything that I felt was actually like me. And I was just like, no, a job does not define me. My friends do not define me. If my job didn't like me, then that's okay. But they're not the ones that say I'm worthy or not. That's God. And that's the thing is you have to realize that no one has the power to determine your worthiness. No one has the power to determine if you're worth it or any of that. And it takes time with people to realize that because it's not an easy concept to get, especially in this day and age where you have sue happy people and then you have triggered happy people who you say, I'm a white Christian woman who is a conservative who hates abortions and will stand by that to this day. You start hitting on like, and I mean, I cannot get into arguments with people because I've been shamed, ridiculed, I have been bashed, I have been every which way because of my stance. And it's one of those things where in this day and age you cannot base who you are and what you are on what everyone else says. Because as much as the world wants to say we're a loving and we're open arms community, they're not. I mean, It's like the squeaky wheel. You squeak enough, they're going to pull oil on you, and you're fine for a time. Pretty much is what's going on this day and age. If you're black, white, any kind of race, squeak enough, they're going to be like, oh, okay, okay. And the same with genders. I feel like that there's two genders, male, female. That's it. I mean, that's my stance. And I'm allowed to have that stance, and I'm allowed to be able to say that. And if people want to discuss it with me, fine. But it's when you start getting to the point where people are literally going out of their way to attack people because of things like that, you cannot focus on those people. You have to focus on the fact that, do you feel okay with your stance? Are you at peace with your actions? If you're not, then you might want to reevaluate them. If you are, then just stick to them. Because come hell or high water, your opinions, your choices are what's going to eventually matter at the end. It's not everyone else's. If people made your day better, great. If not, let them go. I mean, it's the year of becoming better. So instead of saying, oh, it's not worth it, everyone in my past is just treating me like crap, leave them. Be better. Find better. And it all stems from the positivity of what you say and do. If you're continuously boohooing and saying, oh, woe is me, instead of actually being like, no, I'm going to fix this. This is not going to be the end. Then people are going to get worn out, but it's not that we don't care. It's you have to find it in yourself to say, I'm worth it. I am worth it. And by golly, everyone else is going to see that. And you'll start seeing a change in everyone's attitudes. And that's just the thing is it doesn't come overnight. And it surely doesn't come easily. But it is enormously worth it. And I hope that whoever hears this, it does help them, because too many people right now are just hitting that point where people are just being brutal and they don't know how to deal with it, and they feel lost. And instead of knowing in their heart what is true, they're just taking it all to heart, and it's hurting them. So my word of advice for today is, no matter what difficult situation you're in, remember, pick two things from the moment you woke up this morning and find something that was actually worthwhile and good about yourself. Not about what's going on around you, not about your dog, not about your cat, not about your family, but about yourself. Like, some days it's, I got up this morning and I was able to have food. It's little things like that. And find the positivity in where you can, and it will slowly start becoming larger amounts and more things, to the point where you just don't have to say it out loud anymore. So with that, I hope you guys have a glorious, wonderful day. And if anything, if you're having that tough time, just feel free to message me or comment, and I'll find you and we'll talk. I mean, I have no issue with that, but I am not going to be anyone's savior or their main source of how they get happy. I mean, I'm just not. I can't. I have bad days that I'm still struggling with, that just makes it to where you cannot be that person's savior, but you can be the person that holds their hand and says, we're both going through a tough time. We're going to get through this together. So with that, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.